Welcome back to the channel, Ron. Today I want to show you how to use a nut buster. This is a very popular tool if you're trying to get some old nuts off. And if you do not have access to an acetylene or something like that to heat the nut up, this will work just as well. The problem is you really got to have enough room to get in there on that. What it does is you put the nut that you're trying to break in between here, and this knife part here will actually split the nut as you tighten it down like that. So I'm going to simulate that real quick for you on my vise, because usually if it's on like an old snow plow or something like that and you're trying to get the nut off, you don't have to worry about it moving, but you're really not going to be able to hold on to this. So all you got to do is we're going to go ahead and put it in the vise and try to simulate this as much as possible. I'm going to tighten it in. There we go. I'm going to tighten it up pretty good here. And then the bolt that I'm going to simulate, this is pretty rusty. Now imagine if this was all rounded right off and you couldn't get onto it. And if you could heat it up, you could probably get on there with a pair of vice grips. But again, if you don't have access to any kind of heat, this is the next best thing. And I've used this a lot. So what you want to do is you want to just kind of line that up to where we're going to split the nut itself. And just kind of on the flat side of the nut, just put it like that. And just tighten it up so it snugs in there pretty good. And what we're going to do is we're going to start tightening that down. And as we do, it's going to split that nut. Now I'm going to use gloves here only because it's just, I feel as if I got a little bit more strength with the gloves. So here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start tightening it up. Plus if I slip, I'm not going to bust up my knuckles. And we've all been there before. So I'm going to go ahead and start tightening it up. Make sure that my vise is good and snug. There we go. Again, always filming stuff like this online is always, it's always tricky. And it's starting to cut into the nut. And you'll hear it snap. There we go. We can go ahead and loosen that up. Now before I take that out of there, just kind of want to show you a little bit more of a close-up on what's going on. Now if this was a really stubborn nut, we would actually turn this around and split the other side, and then that will basically fall right off. So let's go ahead and simulate that we are not able to get that off. So usually what would happen is this nut, you could get on there with a pair of pliers at this point, and that would almost fall right off. All right, but if it's real rusty, you would not be able to. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate that. So we're going to split the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the nut buster, put it in the back of the vise. Again, if this was on a snowplow, we would not have to worry about that, or on a frame of a vehicle. I've had some real stubborn nuts that just would not come off. And before I had access to heat, I used this all the time. So there it is right there. Again, we've split one side, and I'm going to simulate that it would not come off even then. And this sometimes gives you a little bit of trouble because it might slip, but I'm going to go ahead and do the best I can. Let's go ahead and start tightening it down. There you go. Now unfortunately, the nut broke and just kind of scattered on us. But there's one side of it right there. Alright, so we're all set. It came right off with no problem. And generally the bolt itself will be fine after you do that. So that's all there is to it on the old nut buster. They've been around for a long time. You can get smaller ones and bigger ones. But this is definitely something you want in your arsenal of tools when it comes to removing stubborn nuts. Again, if you don't have any heat, this is the next best thing. So thanks an awful lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.